Hi there. Thanks for joining CPG Bytes, a series of short video segments from Treasure Data, where we chat about the latest news and industry trends and read between the lines to provide our perspectives and insights. So David, what is new this week?
Hey, Steven, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. You?
I'm doing great as well, thanks. So I thought it would be interesting to talk a little bit about this article about how Cetaphil is using really real-time insights to do consumer targeting and marketing. We've talked a little bit about how important the moment is, the time is in marketing and consumer engagement and driving loyalty. But I thought this article was really, really interesting. The first point, they talk about how buying behaviors changed because of COVID. And we've seen that, right? You and I've talked about the McKinsey study that showed that 75% of consumers changed their buying behaviors in the brands and the retail stores they shopped at because of COVID. And 60% of those folks are probably going to stick with those changes, right? So there's been this whole kind of upheaval within brand loyalty, if you will. But I think that the key part about this particular story, though, is how Cetaphil shifted some of their shopper marketing dollars. So people weren't in the stores, now they're shopping online. How do they engage with those consumers? And it became very, very important for them to understand the right moment to market with them, right? It's not just the right person and the right message, it's the right moment, the right time. And if we scroll down here, there's this really great quote, and again, Cetaphil is personal care items, right? And they talk about personal care items are typically not impulse purchase items. That's why it's so important for us to serve up our messaging at the right moments, right? It's key, that moments notion, where people are in the attention state to be doing their online shopping, cart building. So, clearly Cetaphil understands that the right message delivered at the wrong time isn't gonna work. And so I thought that was really pretty interesting. And kind of if you take us up one level, why I think this is so critical is I've been doing a little bit of analysis and looking at some of the historical data. And if you think about, let's go all the way back in time to 2006, right? So 2006 was prior to the smartphone, right? The iPhone was released in 2007. So we're talking kind of the dark ages, if you will, of digital marketing. But even back then, the click-through rate, on average is about 5%, right? Fast forward to today, and you think, well, golly, with all this data, with all these insights, we'd have to be doing better than that. And I looked at some data from 2020, and in the food and beverage space, 1.7%. CPG 2.4, and here's the kicker, retail 1.1%. So retailers with access to all of this first party data are still, they're worse off today from a CTR perspective than they were, 16, 17 years ago. So there's a lot of reasons for that, right? And I realize that click-through rates are just one metric we should be looking at from an engagement perspective, but I would posit that it's partly because we haven't gotten this time element correct, right? We haven't been thinking about that right message, the right person at the right moment. And I think that's something that winning companies like Cetaphil are focusing on. And it's something that, hopefully people that are watching this video and can start taking a look at that, because I think that's going to differentiate the winners from the losers as we move forward.
No, that's a really good point, because now we've got the tools to know who is the right titles to go after, and the marketing team, if they're doing the job, they can come up with the right message. Now the last piece of the puzzle is the right time, the right moment. And even if you're targeting the right audience with the right message, but they're busy cooking dinners for their kids, they're probably not going to be answering that email right away, or they may, even worse yet, they may ignore that message because it's not the right moment. So that right time is truly the holy trinity, if you will, to kind of get the right message through to the right person and get them to convert. And I think that is just so important.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, I was talking to a former colleague of mine and earlier this year, and she was talking about the fact that we need to move engagement away from being an interruption to actually being some sort of a value added engagement or discussion and whatnot. And if you think about, I hate to say it, but if you think about advertising and marketing historically, it's always been a kind of an interruption, right? Whether it's a TV ad or whether it's you're reading a magazine and there's an advertisement that's interrupting and you have to flip the page. And we have the data now to drive the insights to drive us to a point where it doesn't have to be an interruption. I think that's really where we all need to get to.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It brings me back to the days when we all had phones in our dining rooms, and it's always at the worst time that direct marketers would call you and ask you to buy something. It's in a way, it's never a convenient time, but now that moment, the right moment or the right moments element is so crucial that if we can find the right timing, it just completes a circle.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, David, for that insight into Cetaphil, and thank you for joining us. For more videos like this, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the bell for all notifications. We will be back again in 2 weeks with more topics for CPG Bytes.